If you love Sudoku or nanograms, you need to try Thermometers. It's a logic puzzle where the goal is to fill the thermometers based on the numbers along the outside. It looks tricky, but the logic is actually very satisfying. Let's solve this easy grid together. Since this is an easy puzzle, we'll start with the biggest clue, the 8. In beginner-level grids, the highest or lowest numbers usually give you the best starting point. This 8 tells us that every single cell in this row must be filled. Notice how some thermometers now have filled segments in the middle. We know that's not possible. Just like a real thermometer, the mercury must always rise from the bulb upward. Because of this rule, we can automatically fill in all the segments between the bulb and the part we just marked. Looking at the last column, our clue is A1. Since we already have one segment filled, we know the rest of that column must be empty. Let's mark those remaining spots as empty with gray color so it's easier to see what's left for the other thermometers. Now, look at the top row. We have a clue of 7, and since we already marked one segment as empty, there are only 7 spots left. That means every remaining segment in this row must be filled. Now look at the last row. The clue is 2, but we have a thermometer that is 4 segments long. Since the clue is smaller than the thermometer's length, we know the top 2 segments can't possibly be reached. We see the same logic in the 7th row. The clue is 3 and we already have 2 segments filled. This means any empty thermometer of length 4 can only take one more segment at most. We can mark this segments as empty. Moving to the 5th row, we have 4 segments already filled, but the clue is 5. That means we need exactly one more. Looking at our empty thermometer, and remembering that we must always start from the bulb, we know that the segment on the left is the one that gets filled. In row 4, we've already filled all the necessary segments. Since the clue is satisfied, we can mark the rest of the row as unused. Moving to column 5, our clue is 7. Since one cell in this column is already marked as empty, we know that all the remaining segments must be filled to meet the total. Looking at row 3, we've now filled all the necessary segments. To finish this row off, we'll mark the remaining spots as empty. We can apply that same logic to column 2. We've already reached our count there, so let's mark the remaining segments as empty. In row 2, we can now fill in the rest of the segments. Since we've confirmed 2 spots are empty, the remaining 6 must be filled to satisfy the clue. We are in the home stretch now. Let's clean up columns 1 and 4. It's a clear shot from here. We'll fill all the remaining cells in column 1. For column 4, we only need one more segment, and remember our golden rule, always fill from the bulb first. And for the grand finale, we head to row 7. By cross-checking our vertical clues, we can see exactly what's missing. We'll drop 2 more segments into columns 4 and 6 to satisfy those counts, and just like that, every single clue on the grid is perfect. And there we have it, a perfectly completed thermometers grid. As you saw, even when a puzzle looks intimidating at first, it all comes down to those core logic pillars. Starting with your biggest clues, using the power of elimination to mark empty spaces, and always remembering that golden bulb to tip principle. There is nothing quite like the feeling of watching a complex grid finally click into place. I hope this tutorial made the logic clear and gave you the confidence to tackle your next thermometer challenge. If you enjoyed this solve and want to keep your mind sharp, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. For even more daily puzzles, logic tips, and brain teasers, you can find me across all other social networks as Mr. Brain. Come say hello, share your favorite puzzles with me, and let's keep building this community of thinkers. Thanks so much for hanging out and solving with me today. I'm Mr. Brain, and I'll see you in the next puzzle.